We know Caitlin Clark is a signee of Nike. And yeah, let's get it.
Joining us today for a special edition of New News is the 6-foot guard from Iowa. She's the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history, the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. She's a two-time WNBA All-Star, 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, the 2024 Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, and she is the first and now last guest.
Permanent invite. Those two words flip the whole game upside down. Jason and Travis Kelce don't just hand that out like candy. These two NFL icons have hosted hundreds of guests on New Heights, but only one person has ever been offered a standing invitation to come back anytime. And that person, Caitlin Clark. She just pulled off something no other WNBA player has ever done. She's got unlimited access to one of the biggest sports podcasts in the world. When that announcement dropped just 25 minutes before the original video went live, the internet absolutely exploded with reactions. But here's what most people completely missed. This wasn't just another interview, this was a power move. This is about the business of women's basketball and who's really controlling the spotlight from now on. Let's break it down for real. When Caitlin first popped up on New Heights back in January 2025, that episode didn't just do well, it blew up. Over 1 million views, making it one of the most watched interviews they've ever done. For comparison, most of their NFL guest interviews pull in around 400,000 to 600,000 views. Caitlin didn't just pass that. She tripled it while representing a league that mainstream sports media usually ignores. And trust me, the Kelce brothers aren't doing this for charity. They're sharp businessmen who know how to turn views into dollars.
Basketball player Caitlin Clark. Now, we know last time Caitlin Clark appeared on New Height podcast, it garnered over 1 million views and was seen worldwide. It was one of the hottest interviews to kick off the 2025 year. And I'm here to tell you, to me, it's only right that they cap off the year.
Travis just bagged a reported $100 million deal with Amazon for a new game show, and Jason's already laying down the foundation for his own media empire after retirement. These guys don't waste valuable airtime unless there's real audience gold waiting on the other side. And Caitlin Clark is pure gold right now. 2 hours before that New Heights announcement even hit, the internet was already telling the story through viral memes and photos. Caitlin's spotted sitting courtside next to Steph Curry at a Warriors game. Then she's showing up at a wedding with Lexi Hull. Then she's on David Letterman. She's literally everywhere. Everywhere except where the WNBA's marketing team probably wishes she'd be. And here's where things get a little uncomfortable for the league. Caitlin Clark is building her brand outside the WNBA's control. She doesn't need their tired promo deals or their network connections anymore. She's going straight to the biggest media platforms in sports and entertainment. And guess what? They're rolling out the red carpet because she brings in numbers most WNBA players can only dream about. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing the conversation. She's taking ownership of it. One viral moment at a time. That photo of Caitlin Clark, that epic jersey retirement ceremony at Iowa, that All-Star Game moment, that Time Magazine Athlete of the Year honor, every single one of those moments grabbed more media attention than the WNBA Finals. Can you believe that? A college jersey retirement got more national buzz than the league's own championship series. That's not just wild. It's a wake-up call. The WNBA doesn't have a Caitlin Clark problem, at least not the kind they think. The issue isn't that she's getting too much shine. It's that the league still hasn't figured out how to cash in on her spotlight without turning off their existing fan base. And while the league's busy trying to play it safe, Caitlin's out here making boss moves, locking down permanent access to platforms that reach over 50 million people. She's not waiting around for approval. She's moving like someone who knows her worth. Let's rewind for a second. Remember what went down during the 2025 season? Those numbers were off the charts. The Indiana Fever averaged 1.2 million viewers every time Caitlin suited up. But when she sat out with that ankle injury in August, the audience tanked, dropping all the way to 300,000. That's not a coincidence. That's proof. The league broke 16 different viewership records that season, and Caitlin was at the center of 14 of them. But here's where things got messy. While she was carrying the league's visibility on her back, not everyone was happy about it. There was a loud corner of WNBA fans, and even some players, who didn't like how much attention she was getting. Then came that dark side comment from a media personality, the rough physical play that sometimes crossed the line into straight up dangerous, and the endless debates about whether she really deserved Rookie of the Year. It turned the league's brightest star into its most polarizing figure overnight.
2026, I welcome you with open arms. Caitlin Clark is ecstatic about the 2026 year, and I'm happy too, man. It's a new year, new goals for everybody. And guys, be sure to set y'all some New Year goals too. This is Caitlin Clark. Look like she...
And now, fast forward to today, Caitlin's wrapping up her year by returning to New Heights, and that timing is no accident. The WNBA season ended months ago in October. Free agency's already sorted, and the sports world has moved on. But not Caitlin. She's keeping her name alive by linking up with platforms that get it. Platforms that see her value, know her reach, and understand that when Caitlin Clark shows up, the whole internet stops to watch. Nike sponsoring this New Heights episode? Oh, that's no coincidence. Nike knows exactly what they're doing. They locked Caitlin Clark into an 8-year, $28 million deal, the biggest shoe contract in WNBA history. That's not just a sports deal. That's a cultural investment. Nike isn't betting on just another athlete. They're backing a phenomenon who's changing the face of the game and the conversation around it. And by putting her on New Heights again, they're keeping her spotlight burning bright during the offseason, when most WNBA players vanish from the public eye. And here's the genius part. The creator of this video didn't just hype her up. He built a whole narrative around her team too. He talks about hoping the Fever roster stays tight, shouting out Lexi Hull and saying she deserves her money. He praises Aaliyah Boston's leadership and how she held it down when Caitlin was sidelined with that ankle injury. That's smart, because he's speaking to the real basketball heads, the ones who know the Fever aren't a one-woman show. But then he drops the line that flips everything. Aaliyah Boston might have been the most impactful signing of the 2025 season. That's a bold statement considering how many moves went down last offseason, but he's not wrong. When Caitlin went out early in August, everyone thought Indiana's playoff hopes were cooked. But instead of folding, Aaliyah stepped up big time. She ran the floor, distributed the ball, and kept the Fever in the mix until Caitlin came back. That one signing literally saved their season. But here's the bigger picture. This latest New Heights appearance isn't just a fun cameo. It's a power statement. It's about control. Who really gets to tell Caitlin Clark's story moving forward? Not the WNBA's marketing team, not ESPN's pregame analysts, not the league's PR department. Caitlin and her crew are calling the shots. Every public move is part of a strategy. That permanent invite to New Heights changes everything. Now, whenever there's something major, a new Nike drop, a playoff run, or even a contract extension, she's got an open line straight to millions of fans. Think about it. New shoe deal? Boom. New Heights episode. Playoff push? New Heights episode. Big re-signing? You already know. New Heights. Caitlin Clark now has something no other WNBA player has ever had. A direct, unfiltered connection to sports fans who might never watch a regular season WNBA game, but will absolutely tune in to see her talk with the Kelsey brothers. And that's where the real tension sits. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark way more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA. Her influence, her reach, her money, it all stretches far beyond basketball. Caitlin Clark is now making way more from endorsements than she'll ever make just playing basketball. And that's the truth. Her Instagram feed says it all. She's living her best life, rubbing shoulders with top-tier athletes, expanding her brand far beyond the hardwood, and stepping into spaces that most WNBA players never even touch. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about influence, reach, and power. The league should be celebrating this kind of exposure, right? A rising tide lifts all boats, doesn't it?
Friends or something there. This looked like jersey retirement ceremony there. Kelsey Mitchell, this was the last game here. We all remember that. This was probably on their way to a game. This is pretty dope. Because we ain't ever seen these pictures. I think that's an Iowa hat. No, this probably from the David Letterman. Now, we all remember she did David Letterman, that show. This is from the Anika Golf Tournament 2025.
Well, not exactly. The WNBA has spent decades carefully building its own culture, its own identity. And here comes Caitlin Clark, whose massive mainstream appeal doesn't always fit that mold. She's bringing in a brand new wave of fans who don't know the league's long fight for recognition, equal pay, or respect. They're not watching for activism or history lessons. They're watching because they love seeing her pull up and drain shots from 30 feet out. Some longtime WNBA veterans see those new fans as bandwagoners who'll vanish the second Caitlin hangs up her jersey, and maybe they're right. Some might disappear, but here's the part everyone forgets. Those same bandwagon fans are the ones driving record-breaking TV numbers. They're the ones selling out arenas across the country. They're the ones making the league more valuable to sponsors and broadcast networks. And that extra attention, it translates directly into leverage. Better collective bargaining agreements, higher salary caps, and improved working conditions for every player in the league. So yeah, those so-called bandwagoners are changing the game whether the old guard likes it or not. Now all eyes are on the 2026 season, and it's shaping up to be electric. Caitlin's heading into her sophomore year with sky-high expectations and the weight of a city on her shoulders. The Fever made the playoffs last year, but got bounced in the first round, and that's not going to cut it this time. They have to level up. With Kelsey Mitchell possibly leaving in free agency, all that offensive pressure might fall squarely on Caitlin's shoulders. But don't count her out. She's not rolling into that season alone. She's got Aaliyah Boston, the powerhouse who proved she can be a legit second option. Hopefully, Lexi Hull's back with a fair new deal, and the Fever's coaching staff now has a full year of experience building around Caitlyn's insane range and vision. The chemistry's there, the pieces are in place, and the momentum is real. But more than anything else, Caitlin Clark's got something most players never get: leverage. That's the real game changer right there.
Guard from Iowa. She's the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history, the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. She's a two-time WNBA All-Star, 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, the 2024 Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, and she is the first and now last guest of New Heights in the 2025 season.
Let's go!
92%ers, please welcome back to the show, Caitlin Clark!
I'm back. I'm honored you guys brought me back on. I must.
Leverage. Caitlin Clark's not just another player trying to prove herself anymore. She's the face of an entire movement, and the balance of power in women's basketball is quietly shifting right under the league's feet. When a single player can boost ratings, sell out arenas, and move merchandise faster than the WNBA's own marketing machine, that's not just influence, that's control. And Caitlin knows it. Her team's playing chess while everyone else is still learning checkers. Every appearance, every post, every endorsement is part of a long-term strategy to build her into a global icon. When she sits down with Jason and Travis Kelce, it's not just a friendly chat, it's a calculated branding move that keeps her face in front of millions during the offseason. When Nike features her in another national campaign, it's not just about shoes. It's about reinforcing her image as the main character in the story of modern women's sports. Meanwhile, the WNBA is trying to figure out how to handle this kind of star power. For years, they begged for mainstream recognition, and now that they've got it, through Caitlin, they're scrambling to keep up. Some inside the league want to center everything around her, while others think that might overshadow the veterans who built the foundation. It's a tricky balance. One wrong move, and they risk alienating the very players who made the league what it is today. But Caitlin isn't waiting around for the league to figure it out. She's already building her own empire. She's got partnerships with brands that barely even advertised women's basketball before she came along. She's getting calls from talk shows, late-night hosts, and major corporations, all wanting a piece of that Caitlin Clark magic. Every deal, every appearance just widens the gap between her and the system she came from. And let's be honest, that kind of independence scares the league a little. Because if one player can command this much attention and money on her own, what happens when the next star follows her lead? Suddenly, players won't need the WNBA to stay relevant. They'll be the product, the platform, and the profit all in one. As we head into 2026, Caitlin Clark isn't just playing for Indiana, she's redefining the business model of women's basketball itself. She's proving that individual star power can rival an entire league's brand, and that's something we've never seen before. Caitlin's not just holding the ball anymore, she's holding leverage, and she's using it to change the game forever. And that's what makes Caitlin Clark's story so wild. She's rewriting the rulebook in real time. Think about it. No WNBA player has ever had this level of control over their image, their platform, or their career. She's not waiting for someone to give her opportunities. She's creating them. From her own media appearances to massive brand deals, Caitlin's turned herself into a one-woman industry. Every move she makes is amplified, dissected, and turned into headlines. And she's learned how to play that spotlight like a pro. But there's another side to this too. The ripple effect. Her success isn't just lifting her, it's forcing everyone around her to level up. Suddenly, every team wants their own Caitlin Clark moment. Every brand wants the next face of women's basketball. Players are hiring marketing managers, social media strategists, and even PR consultants to keep up. The energy around the league feels different now.
And get through it all. Only thing I'm hoping is that the team kind of stays together. You know what I'm saying? A team that we got. Even Sophie, you know what I'm saying? I'm not pushing for players to leave. I want Sophie to stay. Y'all know I was a big advocate for Lexi Hall getting paid. I feel like Lexi Hall definitely deserved her money. You know, hopefully she get it, God willing. She get what she deserved. She literally gave the team a new life. You know, when Caitlin Clark, she filled that role. She filled that role. She was getting her own buckets, and she was able to facilitate the floor. Art McDonald was the biggest signing of 2025. Get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this one. Keep them bells on. I will be back with more.
More alive, more competitive, more profitable. Yet with all that comes pressure, and Caitlin's got more of it than anyone else. Every game, every interview, every tweet gets picked apart by millions. One slip up, one bad quote, and the same people cheering her on will flip in a heartbeat. That kind of scrutiny can crush a player, but Caitlin's been built for this moment. She's shown over and over that she can handle the noise, block out the chaos, and keep her focus on winning both on the court and in the business game. Still, the bigger story isn't just about Caitlin anymore. It's about what her rise means for women's sports as a whole. She's proving that visibility equals value, that when you give women the same exposure, the same production quality, the same marketing push, the fans show up, the ratings rise, the money follows. And deep down, that's the conversation the WNBA can't avoid any longer. Caitlyn's career is becoming a blueprint, not just for future players, but for the league itself. She's showing that modern athletes don't need to fit neatly into an organization's narrative. They can build their own. She's using platforms like New Heights to tell her story her way, to audiences that might never have cared about the WNBA before she came along. So as the 2026 season approaches, one thing's for sure, Caitlin Clark isn't slowing down. She's walking into the new year with the kind of momentum most athletes only dream of, and the league knows it. Because right now, every camera, every sponsor, every conversation in women's basketball starts and ends with one name, Caitlin Clark. She's not just the face of the WNBA anymore. She's the heartbeat of it. The New Heights partnership isn't just another media appearance. Now it's a revolution in how athletes control their own stories. Caitlin Clark now has a direct line to fans. No filters, no spin, no middlemen. If controversy breaks out during the season, she doesn't need to rely on journalists or PR teams. She can go straight to her audience and speak on her own terms. If there's a contract issue, she can shape the entire conversation before the league even gets a chance to react. That's next-level power, and no WNBA player has ever had that kind of control before. The permanent invite to New Heights isn't just a cool moment. It's a power move. It's Caitlin Clark stepping into a space bigger than basketball, claiming her position not just as an athlete, but as a brand and a media force. She's rewriting the playbook for what it means to be a women's sports superstar, setting a standard that every future player will chase. But here's the part that's got the league sweating. Caitlin's officially bigger than the system she plays in. Whether that's good or bad for the WNBA depends entirely on how they handle it. If the league can harness that star power and use it to grow everyone's platform, it could change the game forever. But if they fail to adapt, if they let the gap between Caitlin and the rest of the roster keep growing, they risk turning their biggest asset into their biggest challenge. As we roll into the 2026 season, the question isn't if Caitlin Clark will keep dominating headlines, because she absolutely will. The real question is whether the rest of the league can rise with her, or whether her influence will keep stretching further beyond reach. Because right now, Caitlin's playing a totally different game than everyone else, and make no mistake, she's winning. She's not just setting records, and she's setting the tempo for how women's basketball evolves in the modern media era. Every move she makes sends shockwaves through the sport, and everyone's watching to see what she does next. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Should the WNBA be worried about one player holding this much independent media power? Or is Caitlin Clark exactly what the league needs to finally break into the mainstream and stay there? And if you're a Fever fan, what are your realistic expectations for the 2026 season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear them all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this breakdown, and I'll catch you in the next one.